saying it's your boy Summoning Explosive back again, and I'm here today 45 minutes outside of Glasgow in Dunblane. And in today's video we're going to find out how a town turns into a city, and you're going to be joining me, so let's go. What is a city? Well, there's a number of definitions out there. For example, Encyclopedia Britannica says that a city is a relatively permanent and highly organized centre of population of greater size or importance than a town or village. However, Merriam-Webster says it's an incorporated British town usually of a major size or importance having the status of an episcopal see. A mixture of definitions here, right? There are cities all over the country, 69 of them as of 2021. Of course, everyone knows London, Edinburgh, Manchester, Wells, St David's. What? You've never heard of the last two? Well, they are cities, no pun intended, I think. Even with a population of just over 1,800, St David's in Wales, nearly 100 kilometers away from Swansea, is an actual city. But then you have me here in Dunblane, but it's not a city. Dunblane is a medium-sized town. Say it with me. Town. In the central belt of Scotland with a population of around 9,300 people. It's about a 45-minute train ride from Glasgow and about an hour's train ride from Edinburgh, Scotland's capital. Some may call it a commuter town. The town is most known for a tragic incident back in 1996 which shook the country and influenced a drastic change in gun laws in the UK, and for also giving the UK Andy Murray. Here's his golden postbox. I've got a few friends from here, hello, and they argue that Dunblane is actually a city, similar to folk from places like Brechin, Dunkeld, Kirkwall and St Andrews. Why? Because of their cathedrals. The cathedral here in Dunblane at this site dates back from the 1100s, with the site being home to a church built in the 7th century by the monk St Blaine. And the structure you see here today is a result of a late 1800s restoration of the cathedral led by architect Sir Rowland Anderson. Nowadays you can visit the cathedral and have a look around at the amazing restoration work executed. Dunblane itself is a nice and tranquil town. It has a Tesco, which I have proudly purchased a meal deal from. It has a train station, obviously, and it has a very nice hotel, of which I cannot afford for the life of me. Located on the banks of the Allen Water, which is probably one of the nicest rivers I've seen about, you can split the town into two. I like to call it Tesco and non-Tesco side. To be fair, this day was the first time I'd properly explored Tesco side after walking along and across the river. There's also a disused railway out west to Doon and Callander that you can spot nearby. Cutting about Dunblane, you can find relics of the town being known as an ancient city in its own right. Officially, Scotland only has 7 cities: Edinburgh, Glasgow, Perth, Stirling, Aberdeen, Dundee and Inverness. The latest to get city status being Perth in 2012. In England and Wales up till the 19th century, city status was linked with having a cathedral in the city limits and then being ratified by the ruling monarch. This is the reason why your Wells and St David's are actually cities, even though you could fit the population of the latter into a couple of Eurostar trains. They would have gained city status before the 19th century with their cathedral, but subsequently avoided the population boom that other cities had during the Industrial Revolution. In Scotland it was all a bit different. There were only royal boroughs, Edinburgh and Perth for example, but there was no link between cathedral and city status. Dundee was granted city status by letters patent in 1889 and the rest of the cities followed after. Let's just say that a lot of towns tried to use the claim of being a city, but they were never officially recognised. Nowadays, settlements gain city status through either a bid or in some special cases, skipping this process and are awarded directly by the Queen on the advice of government ministers. A good example of that was the awarding of city status to Southend-on-Sea in Essex following the death of MP David Amos, who had long been an advocate for a bid for Southend. In 2021, 39 settlements put in a bid for city status as part of a competition for Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee celebrations in June 2022, and for the first time it included towns in British overseas territories and Crown dependencies. So hypothetically, this could mean that places like Stanley and the Falkland Islands, with a population of 3,000 people, could become a British city. Out of the 39, there are some notable inclusions like Crawley, West Sussex, Gibraltar, Middlesbrough and Doncaster. There are 8 Scottish additions in the list: Dumfries, St Andrews, Dunfermline, Elgin, Greenock, Livingston, Oban and South Ayrshire, each putting in an application to be considered. The application process is quite interesting in fact. Towns are asked to emphasise notions of heritage, innovation and greater prosperity in their submissions. They also need to take into account any rural connections, with their applications being subsequently judged by a panel of officials who send their recommendations to the Queen to be approved. There's no minimum quota for population or need for a cathedral to apply. As far as I know, flipping Westfield Stratford could apply for city status if it wanted to. In terms of the numbers that might win city status, there is no fixed number. It's thought that each province will have one successful applicant and the winners will be revealed in time for the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Whoever gains city status will be able to reap some cheeky benefits like calling themselves the city. You don't need to get a bus ticket into the town centre, it's a city centre now. Plus you get added to all the UK city Sporkle quizzes too. I joke, but I don't. Not much is gained by getting city status nowadays, but it does help bring a sense of pride to a local area. It helps promote the newly recognised city to encourage economic growth and opportunities, and damn sure it sounds good to be called a city of insert city name here. If you get my drift. It's more for the clout, innit? Will we be seeing a Dunblane city bid in the future life? If Croydon can put in a city status bid, Dunblane could surely put one in too. So, let's see who out of the 39 gets our coveted prize this summer.